You're listening to Your Highest Self podcast, and this is a bonus episode. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I'm so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for taking the time to invest in your mind and doing it with me today. If you are new to the show, welcome. This is another bonus episode this week. My name is Shanae, and I'm your host. So if you have no idea who I am, I'm a retired WBFF Bikini Pro, and my mission in life is really to help you on your journey to your highest self. And I love doing that through personal development tools, skills, and the knowledge to help you go from a self-conscious nobody to a self-confident leader. And when I say leader, I mean a leader in your life. Like, you don't have to be in corporate or a coach. Just even being a mother means being a leader. So being a leader in your life. So like I said, this is another bonus episode to further support you during the crisis that we're experiencing as a global community. Like I said yesterday, one of my main intentions and job as a life coach is to show you how resilient you are when you have the right tools and knowledge to leverage your mindset and perspective. I firmly believe that we can have a better life when we can choose better thoughts, when we know what thoughts are serving us and what thoughts are not serving us. So as a continuation of yesterday's episode, today we're going to talk about how to feel your feelings. And if you haven't yet listened to yesterday's episode, go ahead and do that first, because they kind of build off on each other. So say you did the stop technique that I taught you yesterday, and you observed what you're feeling, and you realize, whoa, I'm feeling kind of awful. Or you might be like, oh, I feel so anxious. And then you're like, oh, Shanae, that's why I didn't want to do this in the first place. I'm just going to go sit back on the couch and buffer away and, just go on social media because I really don't want to feel all these terrible feelings. Or I'm really scared to stop and take note of how I'm feeling, so I'm just not going to do it in the first place. I understand. So the reason why I'm bringing you this podcast episode today is so that you can not be afraid of feeling your feelings. Here's the thing. Feelings are just emotional states or reactions. Emotions are energy in motion. These things cannot hurt you. Like we said yesterday, it's your thoughts that create your experiences. So if you're having a feeling of anxiety, it's your thought about anxiety that's creating more anxiety for you, not the actual first feeling of anxiety itself. Does that make sense? So if you've been avoiding journaling, if you've been avoiding meditating, if you have not wanted to get back into routine because of everything that's happening, and you just don't want to sit with your feelings, one of the things I want you to ask yourself is why are you afraid of your feelings? Why are you afraid of sitting with your feelings? And I'm asking you this because yesterday I did a live, and one of my former clients was on, and we were talking about routines and morning routines and self-care routines. And she used to be really good about her journaling. And she was like, I just can't get myself to journal again. I wake up and the first thing I do in the morning is go on social media because I really don't want to journal and be with my feelings. And then, so I asked her, why are you afraid of being with your feelings? And what she said is because she thinks that she's going to feel sad, and she associates being sad with being weak. Can you resonate? Totally understandable, right? In our culture and society, we've been conditioned to think that showing our feelings somehow makes us weak. But as a human, let me tell you, you are going to experience 50% of sad or negative emotions. It's just a fact of life. I'm not even trying to be a negative person. I'm a very positive person. And as a positive person, I understand that as a human being, I'm going to feel the whole spectrum of emotions. I'm going to feel sad, overwhelmed, panicked, stressed, loving, grateful. And I can often feel all of those feelings in the span of one day, which happened to me last week. And I was so confused. I was like, oh my God, I'm so emotional today. I'm feeling amazing one minute and then awful the next. So it's just a fact of life. And when you can learn to sit with your feelings, when you can learn to validate and acknowledge them, then you can choose to shift them. That's when you become the most empowered version of yourself, when you're able to feel your feelings, validate yourself, and then choose to shift. If you, however, don't allow your feelings to come through, they eventually will find a way to be known, either through like getting tension headaches, insomnia, anxiety, depression, um, like gut issues. Side note, I'm excited for you guys to listen to the episode coming up with my Reiki mentor, because we talked about this. And this is where Reiki and energy healing helps people who have really blocked emotions, like just years of suppressed emotions just like pushed inside of them. And that's why I got my Reiki certification, because I really noticed that in a lot of my clients who came through Mindset Makeover, like they just hadn't allowed themselves to feel their feelings. And when you feel, you heal. Okay, that's how this all works. So like I said, if an energy, or if emotions are energy in motion, and you're not letting that emotion ride through your body, like feel the wave of it and let it go, and instead you're just pushing it down and suppressing it, then it gets stuck. And think about how awful you feel when you have all that stuck rage and sadness and like anxiety in your body. Like it's not a good feeling, and it can manifest as physical pain and trauma to you if you do not allow yourself to feel your feelings. Anyways, I feel like I said the same thing 5 times, but I hope you get it because it's so important. I really want you to get this. This is why it's really important to feel your feelings. The quote that I love that just explains this so eloquently is that whatever you resist persists. Okay, so the moral of the story is you can't shove away your emotions. You have to learn to feel them so that you can then heal them. So let's get into 3 ways that you can sit with your feelings and feel them. One of them is to, or like the first step is to identify what stereotypes you place on feelings and go through the work to remind yourself that these are not true. So the work is this thought true? Is this really true? How does this thought make me feel? And then what's a turnaround? So for an example, from the example we had earlier, being sad makes you weak. So if I were to identify that as a stereotype, when I am sad, I'm a weak person. Is that thought true? No. What's the turnaround? When I am sad, I'm being authentic and human. Is that thought true? Yes, absolutely. Another example is that being angry and mad makes me bad. So when I feel angry, I'm a bad person. Is that thought true? No. What's the turnaround? When I'm mad and angry, I'm being authentic and human. Is that thought true? Yes. Whatever culture you were raised in, whatever sort of household that you were raised in, your parents probably had certain stereotypes that they kind of went by. So maybe you were raised in a house where like everything is fine. Everything is good. Everything is fine. We don't talk about when we're sad. We don't talk about when we're mad. We're always just kind of just happy. And it's like, okay, like, if you fought or if there was a fight, you just smile and it's all good. It's all okay. And so you were not encouraged, and you were not shown how to voice your needs if you were feeling sad or if you were feeling mad, right? I'm half Japanese, and I think for a lot of the Asian culture, we don't talk about feelings. Like therapy is like not a thing. I think, well, kind of going back to my childhood, when I got in trouble, like when my stepmom was mad at me, she ignored me. Like I got the cold shoulder. Like she wouldn't talk to me for like days. It was such a interesting way to be raised, right? And if I hadn't done the work, if I hadn't gone to therapy, if I hadn't gotten kicked out and meant to, like what's happened with me is like, I see this as an opportunity, like me getting kicked out at a young age was an opportunity for me to be able to figure life out on my own instead of using my parents' values and conditioning to move forward in life. Does that make sense? Because if I was like kept that conditioning, then I think I wouldn't speak my feelings to my husband. Like, I think that if I would have gotten mad at him, then I would probably just like be silent. And I'm so happy I don't have that that conditioning. I don't have that stereotype. If I'm feeling upset or sad, I tell him. But it's also like a two-way street. I know this is a tangent, but I still want to tell you. When I first met him, one of the things that he told me was like, if you're ever feeling sad or angry or your feelings are hurt, like please tell me right away. Like don't hold those feelings in, because when you do, then it just gets exasperated and it blows up. So tell me right away when you're feeling sad. And I was like, wow, that is amazing. Like, you're so emotionally intelligent. And now this is like triggering me to remember in my relationship before that, I didn't speak up. I was silent. So it was like people pleasing to the max. If I was sad or angry or hurt or upset, I just kept it to myself. And so, anyhow, long winded story to just show you how, based on our experiences, our culture, our conditioning, our upbringing, we might identify certain feelings as good or bad. So, step number 2 is to notice the feeling in your body, like the physical, actual sensation of what the feeling is giving you. Maybe you have a tight chest, or your heart's beating super fast, or you're getting like that panicky feeling in your head. When you are able to identify those physical sensations, what it does is it helps create a really neutral ground for you. And then you stop labeling that emotion as good or bad, right? That, like, when I learned that, I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. It's like, this is just a feeling that my body is feeling, and I can allow it to pass. I can allow it to do its time. I'm just going to notice how it feels. It doesn't mean it's good or bad. The third way to be able to feel your feelings like productively is to name the emotion. So I actually use an emotions chart with my clients to help them increase their emotional intelligence, because I really think that part of being your highest self means being emotionally well. So I use the chart to help them identify like what they're feeling, instead of just using broad terms like sad or anxious. That's also going to help you identify your needs so much easier. So if you want to see that chart, go ahead and just scroll down to the show notes, and I'm going to have it in there. It's a blog post link. So click that blog post, and then you'll see the show notes for this episode, and that will be there. And I think I'll also post it on Instagram. Being emotionally well is also part of my coaching. So the reset strategy, it's the second E. You know, I love acronyms. And the reason why I brought emotions and feeling and like why I use it inside my programs with my clients is because I realized that a lot of these women, like, were not actually feeling their feelings. Like, they had all these suppressed emotions, they had all these suppressed feelings, and they were not healing. And so in order to fully heal, so whether that be heal your relationship with your body, or with food, or with, you know, a past loved one, or healing it with anything, is you have to be willing to let those feelings emerge, be able to name them, be able to sit with them and let them pass, and then choose, you know, the next feeling that you want to have instead. So that's why I even got my Reiki certification, so that I can help my clients. Like, so with Reiki, it's energy healing. And so you're able to, as a Reiki practitioner, I am able to help you shift energy that's stuck in your body much, much faster than just like you doing it by yourself. So look out for that episode so you'll learn more about it. So anyways, that's why I got my Reiki certification, to help my clients heal faster. Like, yes, it does help you heal faster. It's awesome. So anyhow, I hope that you are able to give yourself time and space to feel your feelings. I think that with this pandemic, like I said yesterday and today, like, we're really being forced to look within and to heal, to shift old patterns. And something that might motivate you to learn how to feel your feelings is that feelings are an important factor to being able to get shit done. So if you look on the thought model, you know that feelings will trigger your actions. So you can't make a new thought model, you can't make a new conscious thought model for yourself if you don't know how to feel your feelings. Hashtag fact. you'll just stay in the negative feeling loop and never make that shift to be self confident. You'll never be able to make that shift to like even just be neutral and maybe your perspective with your body image. Like you'll always stay in the negative, unconscious thought loop if you don't learn how to feel your feelings. So, in all seriousness, how do you want to emerge from this pandemic? How do you want to emerge from this experience? Like, do you want to be a better person overall, or do you want your patterns to stay the same? This is my invitation to you to rise, to take the time to invest in your mind even more and become your highest self. There is no better time than now, and there is just so much opportunity and support for you to be able to do this work. So with that being said, kind of, I mentioned it yesterday, but I wanted to put together a low cost membership. I had this idea and I was going to launch in June, but I think I'm going to launch sooner than later. And if you are interested in joining me, it's going to be the Mindset Makeover membership. So it is a mindset program, and it's going to be a lot of things. But more than anything, kind of what I want to do right now is just to be able to host virtual get-togethers. So we'll do another virtual retreat and have a group coaching call. So a space for you to be able to share your feelings, a space where I can hold space for you to be able to um, feel all the things, talk about all the things, and then you can get one-on-one support from me to look at your thought models, to get feedback and advice on like, okay, what are some thoughts that are happening? How can you shift? And how can we help you become more of your highest self? So hopefully I'll have all the details for that soon. But you can just stay up to date with me by being on my email list and also just being on my Instagram. Like Instagram is actually the first place everything goes. So if you are interested in that, make sure you go hang out with me on Instagram and you will see it. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you back on Monday for our regular broadcast. We're going to talk about how to move forward with this together. So we're going to get through this. We're going to get through it together, and I'll give you some real actionable takeaways on how you can move forward from here. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Don't forget to be your highest self. Bye for now.